Welcome to Navarrero's online showcase video, M.I.A. edition. We are finally back after the night, after the storm, and today we are going to get the stuff delivered that we loaded up last time. Yeah, just gonna get the train back together. Also should probably fire up the engine to begin with, and then we should be on our way to the oil field. I hate this whole coupler thing. It's another one of those cases what I talked about already, where it's just not giving me the correct prompt. But yeah, we don't even need that much coal anyway, so we should be good here. The trip isn't that long, and for the most part it's gonna be downhill, so we should be fine. Okay, we got the link and pin. We should be all lined up for reconnection over here. And then we just have to get out of this yard and towards the next one. They are pretty much neighbors. So let's get going. The brakes are all off and let's just roll out of here. The boiler is going to take another moment until it reaches full temperature and pressure again, but for just rolling this out and getting it reconnected to the train, this should be alright. I don't even want to guess what would be happening if we did this kind of thing in real life. I think it might be dangerous. But hey, it's Railroads Online, we don't need to worry about it. And boop. Quite the hard boop, but what can you do? Also, yeah, functioning step ladder on the tender would be really nice because this can actually take a few attempts getting back in there. Okay, let's see. How are we looking for the fire? That's gonna take another while. Let me just go ahead and close the doors. Then we are going to take a look at the map and align all the switches and all of that. So we're just gonna let the engine cook up a storm there. Or more like cook up a steam. So let's see. This one is all lined up. We need to go west, so that's correct there. Now we need to stay down here. Flip this one over. This is going to get us down towards the oil field, which is at the lowest point of the map. Align both of these and then we should be in the delivery area. Also, to be clear, I already tried recording this yesterday. The thing is, first up, I had a run in with some cars that didn't want to budge, meaning that I derailed part of my train. That one was on me. Trying to re-rail everything took about 20 minutes and it just didn't go well. And I think part of the issue was once again with the cars being frozen in place, and honestly it was kinda bullshit at that point. And in the end I also got an unexpected call, so I decided to just trash the entire recording at that point. It didn't really work out, and yeah, a huge part of it was wasted doing nothing of essence. Okay, we should be good on temperature. And yeah, the train seems to be coming along. Yep, that's the last car over there. I'm still considering to maybe double up the length. I think that would be kind of interesting, but honestly I'm not sure how much longer I'll be playing on this save. I think after we did all the oil field stuff, went to the refinery and all of that, that might be the end of this. not entirely sure, but honestly, with how things have gone in the past, I'm I know that I won't be like making this my main game anymore. Which, if things went differently, if it was made a bit better, it would have absolutely at some point been my main game and could have also held that place. But there are so many things wrong with it. It's so frustrating. So yeah, I don't like this whole taking hiatus thing and doing so multiple times and for such long time. But with this, it's really the only way I can play this anymore. It's just way too frustrating, and that kinda sucks. I wish the game was better, but hey, at least I can come back to it every now and again and enjoy parts of it once more. Also, what I've seen is there are apparently quite a few more issues than I reported on. Apparently also the physics settings might be wrong. So I think beginner and realistic might be switched. So theoretically the game now thinks that I'm holding empty cars, at least weight-wise. Should make sure that I don't go too fast here. This is actually a 3% grade, so this can be quite spicy. The one thing I was considering on changing about this whole grade is maybe trying to bend it around that part of the hill and just have it connect to the other side there, instead of having this very long bendy bridge over here. I don't like things being like free floaty, but there wasn't really much of a better way of doing this. That area that I would need to have a right hand turn in, it's kinda tight around the hill, so following that terrain over there wouldn't be that easy. But yeah, we are going down towards the oil field over here. Looking pretty good behind me. 25 miles per hour should be a decently safe speed to go at. And yeah, for the unloading we can also use the new system, which has really grown on me. I absolutely love how they did this. And yeah, when they come up with stuff like that, it definitely shows that the game has a lot of potential, but really it would need a longer time in the oven and potentially some other people working on it. Okay, I need to reverse here. I mean, people have put in the effort and it shows, but yeah, all the issues with it, we should probably change the topic here. I think I'm otherwise just gonna be repeating myself and it's not gonna be that great of a video. You guys know my stance on anything here anyways. I've been very open about that, for better or worse. But yeah, the unloading sequence now is also pretty nice, just like the loading. And I made sure to have a wood rig here as divider, so I can unload them a bit more in a spicy way without any issues. Working like a charm should also do it for the other side here. 18 steel pipes, that's exactly what we should have. And yeah, now everything is getting processed, so we are slowly going back down. And if I feel like we are running out of momentum, I can just quickly give the regulator another yoink, and this is just working out perfectly. And next up, and yeah, with how fast the industry is taking in this stuff, We shouldn't have any problems unloading everything as it is right now. Also good that we started with 36 tools over here, so yeah, we need a bit of a backlog over here in order to get everything else processed, because the tools are usually the last thing to come in here. Let's give it the beans once more for a moment. The slack in the cast is also now meaning that we get a delayed response. You can see how much it's stretching out after I hit the regulator again. And the further to the back we go, it's just gonna take a while longer. Should be almost at the end now. We are now filling up on beams. Just gonna hit the button once more and next car. Should maybe slow down a little bit for the pipes, but that's also really not an issue. Just like that. Now we're just waiting to get past the wood rig, at least with the middle of the car. And then we can toggle the unload of the last few ones. And everything is working like a charm. Partially because I have a wood rig installed here, because otherwise getting everything to come in at just the right time is still a bit of a hassle. I think anything that would be touching the top of a wood rig would get despawned, potentially. So this is helping out quite a bit. I also remember from my last attempt that we are creating about just short of 300 units here. So that's substantial. Would be 600 with everything doubled up. And I think that should work, but I'm not entirely sure. It depends on how many units we exactly get when we bring the crude oil train down. If that one is too long, then there could be an overlap where we don't have enough stuff to actually fully load up the train, but if we then do another resupply, we might actually be oversupplying the industry. I don't think that should be happening. I think there should be enough of a buffer, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, let's move the engine forward again. I think we might actually have to rotate the turntable as well in order to, yeah, not drive this thing off here. So let me quickly do that. Hopefully before the engine arrives. It's coming in quite quickly. And yeah, thanks to me having already started the episode one time, I already know how to operate this stuff again. Last time was definitely a bit of a learning experience for it, but I mean, it worked out. Nothing really too terribly difficult, but there's one siding that we passed by that I didn't remember what it was used for. I thought it was more of a relic, but then it hit me again, and we are actually going to make use of it in a moment. It's that little siding with a raised bumper at the end. We're gonna come back on that in a moment, so you're gonna see what I mean. Just gonna turn the engine around and run around the rest of the industry here. I also didn't deliver the tools yet, but that's about to come in a moment, because we actually need to take care of the boxcar in a moment. Once we disconnect that from the rest of the train, the rest of it is gonna be kind of symmetrical back and forth. So that's how we turn this whole thing around, by just not turning most of it around. And yeah, next up is gonna be loading the crude oil tankers, and I'm looking forward to that. It's one of my most favorite operations because I took the time to set up this entire thing in a pretty good way, and we are going to see how that's going to work out. But yeah, once I have the train turned around, I actually need to bring it back up to the main yard. Oh wait, stop! Need to flip this. Otherwise I would be running into the engine shed. I don't want that. Um, yeah, we need to bring the train back to the main yard and then also get the crude oil train over here. So I don't fully know what to expect on how much we are going to do today. I'll just play again until we have like 1 hour or something, and yeah, then see if I can find a good point to cut it. I don't want to cut in the middle of some operations, but we'll have to see. Alright, gotta be careful here. I mean, the cars are going to be fine. They are all frozen in place now. This isn't gonna botch by a millimeter, I reckon. Oh, never mind. I think the rules might be different if I'm bonking it with a train compared, or, I mean with an engine, compared to a car. With cars it doesn't really react, with engines it seems to do. Okay, I would like to get into the F menu again, thank you. Oh, I didn't notice that there was another bumper down there. We are going to... Uh, I avoided the brakes. Also, I completely ran past the delivery point for the tools. We should be unloading those as well. So let's just quickly do that. Almost forgot about it. Also, I don't remember why there are two in there. I mean, I recently raised the whole thing because I wanted to turn it into a ramp, but I definitely deleted the old one before, and I don't know. Let's see. Main thing is we need to deliver the tools, so let's quickly do that. And now let's go delete the other thing in here. Yeah, that should be alright. There's also some other tag in here, like... Okay. I mean, I could see myself having forgotten about the bumper, but the other thing, that's a bit weird. Don't tell me the whole thing with deleting parts and being able to undo it has some a weird side effect where sometimes it remembers the whole thing that you deleted and then just puts it back in. This is all just an assumption, but this is really looking weird. I don't remember how that could have happened. Okay, anyways, let's be gentle here. Stop the train. And yeah, the brakes are incredibly weak now. The whole engine is just... It's been sliding here once I pull the brakes because, well, it's just apparently what happens now. Yeah, maybe we actually need the sender again. I don't think wheel slip is intended like this, but I mean, this happened quite a few times when you hit the brakes, when it just completely locks up. Okay, let's stop. Hit the brakes over here on this thing and let's disconnect. Okay, the engine doesn't roll on its own. That's fine. We are also going to need another link and pin over here. And you're going to see the reason why I did this in a moment. This has to do with my failure from yesterday where I derailed the train. Because what we are going to do now is we are going to get the rest of the train, all the other cars that are standing around. Might as well enter the F menu from the outside, that seems to be working better. And once we have all of them, we need to reconnect to the boxcar right here. And what happened the last time is I initially had all the track on even ground, so this wasn't really the ramp that it is right now. And I tried to somewhat gently get the cars to connect back to this one, and it just went wrong in a lot of different ways, and it ended up with all these cars derailing. That one, the box car, didn't even have its brakes pulled, and it just completely... It didn't budge and everything else got torn apart. So yeah, that was the first instance. And in the end, I figured out this method, which should be much more gentle. Because instead of trying to reverse the entire train and bump it into the boxcar, I'm just getting all the train cars past the switch, and then I let the boxcar roll down in order to reconnect. That should be much more gentle. And yeah, let's just cut the power. We are going to go on the grade for this. The yard isn't really long enough on even ground to make that work differently, but we should be fine. Let's just pull the brakes and yeah, we should be alright. Okay, everything is standing still. With how weak the brakes are right now, I wasn't even sure if the entire thing wouldn't be rolling back down. So, switch is aligned. Okay, I cannot climb up the ladder on that side. I mean, it's kinda understandable because it's this thing isn't vertical anymore, it's actually like overhanging. And yeah, now we just roll back towards the end of the train and that should be it. Also gonna flip the switch here again. Just in case I come back here, I don't want to make this entire thing weird. And yeah, we are connected. We are good to go. This must be some of the slack in the train, why parts of it are rolling backwards. Shouldn't be dragging the entire train off the grade here. Also, how are we doing for fuel? Not that amazing. So let's quickly check the map. Align on the switches once more. So we now need to go over here. We need to... we could come in through this direction, but yeah, you know what, let's go through the other end. And through here, and yeah, I think that should be the same track we were on the last time. There are two vacant tracks over here, so we should be hitting one of them. just so that I can actually put the engine into the shed instead of letting it stand outside all the time. Actually, for this train I used to have the Glenbrook as my main engine, and it worked out pretty well. It had some issues with this grade though, so it needed a bit of run up, but once I got it, it actually worked out pretty well, so there wasn't really anything wrong there. But yeah, it couldn't have done this grade continuously with all these cars attached. I guess this means that if I was to double up the train length, this engine wouldn't be able to do that either. I mean, we have a bit of time here, so let's quickly check. This is the Glenbrook. 7.6 thousand pound-feet. And Cook Mogul is 11. So yeah, the engine isn't strong enough for all of that. Also, I'm kind of stuck in here now. Okay. Yeah. If I'm in this mode, I can't even really do anything but turn the camera. I need to be able to take a look at this stuff over here. So the menus are still somewhat questionable in some ways. So maybe the twin C would be a good idea here instead. But yeah, at some point we would just be getting so many of the most powerful engines that everything else kind of becomes useless in some ways. I mean, there are still a few things that we could do with weaker engines. The proper mid-tier stuff. Or more like the higher mid-tier stuff, really. Oops. But we'll have to see about it if we actually want to use it for anything. I mean, if I really want to upgrade the entire thing here. This is working pretty well as it is, and getting 300 units or just about there, I think we are a tiny bit short of that. It's definitely nothing to scoff at. Yeah, going past the sawmill again. And back to the main yard in a moment. And from there we actually gonna get the other train in. I'm considering to maybe make that another episode because it's kinda a big cut going in with another engine. But I think we have like half an hour left, so you know what we are going to get the other engine? We are going to put it down to the oil field, and at least we are going to start the loading procedure. Maybe if it turns out to take longer than I expected, I might cut the episode there, so that you can at least get the gist of how the loading is going to go, but from my feeling at least, it's a really quick way of handling things, so I wouldn't even mind showing the entire thing. I'm always considering to maybe make the crude oil train a bit longer because I like the loading so much and it goes by real quick. But there are a lot of other things with that whole train which make all of that a bit more difficult. So I think the 24 tankers we have on that should be enough. But yeah, we are about to turn back into the main yard. And then I'm just gonna take the engine, put it in the engine shed, and that's gonna be it for this whole train. And I get that there are likely a lot of people who prefer to just have the cars all sorted out in a different way. Like have one track for all the logging cars, one for the stay cars and all of that. And then reassemble all the trains if you need to, but honestly, I prefer this a bit more. It's a bit less work every time I want to get going, and the whole putting trains together part of the operations is something that I don't really care about that much. And especially now that we have the option to just have more cars without the performance going to shit, it's kinda nice this way. Like seriously, before they did all the performance updates, I had a few times where I was really just considering to not get any more rolling stock just because of the performance impact. And I'm glad that got taken care of. Okay, we should be pretty good here. Just gonna wait until everything comes to a full stop. Could maybe also pulled the tender brake. I mean, okay, I think that might be something to do with my brake caliper here, or the brake pressure overall. Didn't I have it on 10%? I don't know if I would be turning that down anytime soon. It's more like that adjusted itself. But yeah, let's let the engine coast for a little bit. Let's flip all the switches so that we can put it back into storage and yeah, then move over to the next one. I might actually cut it here. Not sure. It's gonna be a long one otherwise, and who knows how long the other part of all of that is going to work, or how long it's going to take. I think I might be better off just cutting it after bringing this thing home, and next time we are going to see the other train and all that has to do with that. Yeah, the brakes are definitely not doing enough of what they should be doing now. Come on. Uh, okay, let's take this one. I also sometimes try closing the doors, but they seem to just swing open on their own again. Where the fuck do I have to pull these things anyways? I mean, I could leave the ones open that don't have anything in them. This entire setup is a bit of overkill anyways, but I think if I even come too close to the door, yeah, it just automatically opens again, and this is kind of annoying. And if I reload the save, it's just gonna open everything up by default. So, yeah. Anyways, I should turn the table. Yeah, that one opened again already, so yeah, I can't really have it how you want to. It's just gonna do its own thing, which is slightly annoying. I mean, I like that the doors automatically open if you want to drive into the whole thing or get out of it, but eh, manual doors would have been okay as well. Okay, I'm just pulling the tender brake now because that doesn't need any air pressure. And with that, we should be good to go here. Just gonna flip some switches again, just in case I ever drive through here. I don't want to run an entire train into the roundhouse. I mean, we can keep that on that one, but this one should be flipped. And yeah, with that being said, we have another part of the journey done. Next time around, we are going to take the crude oil train, which is currently parked somewhere up here. And we are going to bring it down to the oil field through the logging camp yard. And from there, we are going to load everything back up and see how that all goes. I also need to get rid of some of these signs here. I've done the stuff that is on them right now. So let me just quickly do this. Just a bit of housekeeping. I've taken care of the water tank cars as well, so those signs can be removed. There might still be a few more around the map, but I've taken care of most of them right now, so yeah, pretty happy how that went. Still have to do some of the engine sheds for the ones that are just out there permanently, especially now with the rain having returned. But that's gonna wait for another day. I don't always like doing the decorations and I don't always have a good idea for them. So we're gonna have to wait and see what I can come up with and when we are going to take care of it. With that being said, thanks for watching and hope you enjoyed. See you guys next time. Until then, have a good one. Bye bye.